about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sandra if you have not been here before, and today I want to do a video called Shopping My Collection for Fall Palettes. So I want to show some of the palettes that I have in my collection that you could use for a fall look. Okay, and I have a whole bunch in front of me. I did not think I'd have this many, and so also I have not included every single palette that I thought might be good for fall. So in my opinion, I think any neutral palette, any palette that just has like brown tones in it could be wonderful for fall, right? Because I mean, it's got your warm browns, your cool browns, whatever it is. But I've only picked some of the ones I would jump to myself, or ones that I have jumped to in the past. And I don't have any rhyme or reason. I've probably got brands I'll come back to throughout the video. I have newer palettes, I've got some older palettes, and some with a lower price point, and some that are at a higher end. So let's just take a look at the first palette. The first one I want to talk about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Rose Metals palette. So this is a fairly new palette. And I just wanted to say, like, I did a look with this recently, and this is so fall, okay? Like, when you think about fall, you think about like the deep burgundies and like the greens and the golds, right? And this one is just beautiful for that. So you know, there's a few plum shades in there, like this color here. I'm just gonna like swatch a few because I have to. For me, like, this palette is all about Nova, which is so beautiful, and Heavenly is more of a topper, but then there's Haze, and then even Royale, like that deep plum color. Like, look at those shades, like, aren't they beautiful? Like, those scream fall to me. So this palette, Rose Metals, is so beautiful. Also the metallic shades, they're a little bit more grungy, I feel. So you know, you get those darker, grungier looks for fall. I think this palette, like, you cannot go wrong with this palette for fall. So now going to a really old one. So this is a completely neutral palette. It was like one of my first like higher end palettes that I'd ever purchased. And I first heard about it from Emily Jean Beauty, and it's the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. So this is before KVD Beauty became a thing. This is actually Kat Von D, and as you can see, it's a completely neutral palette. You've got a warmer color story, a cooler, and then, like, you know, well, this is cooler, I guess, and then this light one. So you can do any types of shading. This is perfect for a smoky eye. You can't purchase this guy any longer. However, if you already have it in your collection, it is a perfect palette, you know, for any neutral look, for fall looks even, right? Like, you could have one swipe of color all over your lid, one of the nice browns, like this brown here, even this one. These would be used for some nice darkening to make the eye a little bit more dimensional. That's what I like to use the darker shades for. And yeah, it's an overall nice palette to have in your collection, just to have something neutral. So now, jumping from like completely neutral to something that's completely not neutral, I'm gonna go to Jeffree Star, the Pricked palette, okay? So why would I pick this palette for a fall palette? Well, it's because it's all orange. And so most of Jeffree's palettes, they do follow like a specific color story, right? They've got like, you know, the Blood Money is all green, or, you know, the I can't even remember all the names, like Blood Sugar is all red, Blue Blood is blue. But this one, again, you've got the warm brown tones, you've got some gold shades, some bronzes in there, a black to darken things up, and this palette is perfect for fall. You've got that bright orange color right there, perfect for Halloween. I mean, if you wanted to do a bright orange look, and yeah, they're just so pretty. And I really like the mechanism on this palette. It's like you close it and then it like swings down. And so I enjoy that, like, some of Jeffree's palettes, like, it's like a little purse, right? Some of them are unique in the casings. I like that. And if you haven't picked up Jeffree Star's products before, you should just at least take a look at like one palette. specifically the new one that just came out. We will talk about it in a minute because I do have it in this lineup. That palette is absolutely beautiful. And I think I have a makeup look that I used that pricked palette with. So if I can find it, I'll link it for you and you guys can check that out. Okay, so another palette. Now this was a limited edition. Again, you can no longer buy this one. This is actually a summer palette. Okay, it's the Nars Summer Solstice palette. But, I mean, look at the shades in here. So yes, I know it is a summer palette and it's beautiful and shimmery and just wonderful. But like I can see fall here. I really can. Like namely like this color, this color, this color, like just beautiful shades. Like I'll swatch a few of these for you. This is the red one here. Even this one, they're so buttery and soft. This one's one of my favorites. But I can definitely see like a beautiful fall look. Like this brown color, it's so pretty and that's so shimmery. I love it. I can't get over this palette. And this palette, when I first did a makeup look with this, I have a makeup look with this as well. A couple of them actually, but one of them was really popular. It got a lot of views. And, you know, it is a limited edition palette. So again, if you have it in your collection, you could use this for a fall makeup look. And the nice thing about it is it's small. You can fit it in your purse. You can do a look on the go and it's perfect. And the shimmers are unbeatable. They're beautiful. So now going to a really, from high end, going to a lower price point, which is super affordable, is the Colorpop That's Taupe palette. So if you guys are aware, Colorpop is, I think I want to say that along the same lines as like Morphe, although I would rather order Colorpop than Morphe. But this palette, like the shimmers, Colorpop shimmers are phenomenal. Let's see if I can swatch them for you here. So this is Started and Snake Eyes, Cold Blooded, and Constrictor. I think Constrictor, which is on my pinky, is like one of my favorite colors. So again, completely neutral. And this is definitely on the cool end of the spectrum, but the shades are just beautiful. And the mattes are buttery. The shimmers just go on so smooth. And if you add a little bit of setting spray or water, they're very, very shimmery. So now back to Anastasia. So I'm going to go into the Nouveau palette. So this one is also a very fall palette, I feel. Like, except for the purple. The purple throws me off always a little bit. I'm always headed towards like the golds, the olives, the browns, the oranges, the deep reds, the burgundies, purples even. Like Metro is so pretty. It's just like this beautiful matte burnt orange kind of. Another one of my favorites is Hope. So beautiful. And there's Lily, which is also beautiful. It's like that rose gold. That one's a little crumbly. And then Belle as well. I haven't actually used that shade. But you can see the color story there. It's like those kind of like rose golds, olive colors. Like I live for that. Like I don't know. I think those are so pretty. So now jumping over to Patrick Ta. So I'm going to do both palettes. I know that Patrick Ta has a third palette released just this fall. We'll talk about the first two because those are the only two I have right now. I'm not going to swatch these, but I have the Major Dimension and the Major Dimension 2, which is definitely more of a rose palette. So even though, like, I don't know, I think, again, they kind of like go to burgundy a little bit, and I think this palette is definitely, like, I'm drawn to this one. I haven't used it as much, but I feel like I'm drawn to it more. I don't know why. This one, again, completely neutral. I feel like it's more warm toned. This is definitely more warm toned because the beautiful, like, rose colors in there, but definite fall looks can be had with this palette. So back to Anastasia. So this one is the Jackie Aina palette. Okay, this one came out forever ago, but this one, it was a fall palette. The color story is beautiful. And generally Anastasia had those beautiful like warm brown tones in there. But like this color here, again, is all about the olive green for me. I don't know what, but this one was like a two-tone dimensional green. And then like these colors here, like red for me is always like a fall winter look. And this red is beautiful. I have used that on my eyes once before. but this palette is beautiful. So this was like a major staple to have in your collection. Another major staple, same brand, Soft Glam. Okay, this one can't be beat. I think everybody had Soft Glam. And these two colors, like actually these three shimmers right here, that's where it was all about for me. I would use the mattes in the crease and then top it with shimmers, and it was so beautiful. And then you could just darken up your look with the black. I love having a good functional black in a palette, but I feel like those are like main like fall palettes. I think if you had these and you just wanted to have one or two palettes in your collection, these would be the perfect palettes to have. Now, I know that the Jackie Aina palette is no longer available, but you can still get Soft Glam on Sephora. So there's that. Okay, so now kind of skipping, like this one's like completely different. Dominique Cosmetics, Berries and Cream. So the color story in here is very unique, but again, completely fall. Like, you know, you've got your warm berry tones, and that's what it was meant for. It's got your warm browns and some sparkle. I mean, the sparkle in here, you can't really tell. This one here is sparkly. And then like these three here, I guess, are the sparkles, and then the rest are mattes. And you still have some nice transition shades. Again, a black in the bottom, which is very nice. And this palette is beautiful, especially if you love purples, but for me, it just screams fall and like, you know, berry pie. Oh, Saskatoon berry pie. So nice. Okay, another one, Natasha Denona, the Glam palette. This is a neutral palette. Okay, this is a cool neutral palette. This one is good for any time, but I include it in fall looks because, you know, generally when I think of fall, I think of like warm golds and browns and like warm berry tones, but this is a cool look. So there's people who like feel that warm tones don't really look good on their skin. So if that's you, this palette is perfect. And I'm pretty sure this one's still available, but the shimmers, again, Natasha Denona, these palettes are affordable. They're like Canadian anyway. They're like $87 compared to like her higher end palettes with the more colors in them. And I love these palettes. Like I've been collecting them. And speaking of those palettes is the Yucca palette. Okay, so this is the one I have on my eyelids right now. I love it. I just was playing around with it. And even though this was a summer palette, it was released in summer, those colors, like I actually swatched this one here and I thought it was more blue, but it's actually coming off as more taupe. And this is the shimmer I've used on my lower lash line. This is the shimmer I use on my upper lid. This is like a duochrome, I think. Like it's so beautiful. But you can kind of see like here, I mean, it looks like a summer palette, like bright green leaves, but like on my eyes, it doesn't look like that at all. I've got, you know, definitely more of a fall vibe going on. So I think like this is a perfect palette. The only thing is I couldn't find it here in Canada on Sephora. I found it on the Beautylish website, which is still amazing. If you are in Canada and you want to order Beautylish, they had I think it was I'm not sure if it's a deal or if it's always, but $40 minimum shipping for free. And that's pretty good in my opinion. So that's a beautiful, beautiful palette. Getting down to the last couple here, one that I have to mention and that I haven't used in a while actually is the Tati Beauty palette. So this one was again a complete neutral palette, but you have some orange tones. Well, not orange really, I guess. You've got the red tones and you've got like the deep, more burgundy red tones. You've got black, you've got like, you know, some dark brown, some neutral transition, and then some kind of like lighter tones here. And the thing I like about this palette is that each of these rows is a different type of shadow. So this is your matte right here. The bottom is all matte. This is sequin, so it has a little bit of sequin sparkle in the matte shade. This is a metallic, and then, oops, and then this is a glitter topper. Okay, and I like how that's kind of spread out. It makes it simple to use. You know, you can really combine any of those colors. And I think it's very versatile. Like there's so many things you can do. So even if this was the only palette that you had in your collection, I don't think you could go wrong either. The very last palette I want to talk to you about is the newest one that I got, and that is the Jeffree Star Gothic Peach. So this palette was released as a Halloween palette. Like, first of all, can we just talk about the packaging? I love it. I've had a couple of videos where I've talked about it. I love the coffin. I mean, I love when Jeffree Star comes out with the coffin palettes. I don't know, like it's just the compactness of it. But I also love the color, like the black and the light pink. It's beautiful. So when you open it, the first look that I did, like, yes, it's got a row of purple in there. Again, purple can be used for fall. I mean, he brought it out for Halloween, right? And Halloween is in fall, so you could do Halloween looks with it. But what I did for my first look, I'm going to link it for you, was I used mostly the top row. I did come down to here and I used this one on the bottom, like the lower lash line, but this was perfect to make a fall look. So you've got like an orangey color. This is more of a red color, and then you can darken it up with these ones down here if you want. This is a beautiful kind of burgundy purple color. That's gorgeous for fall too. Kind of like a berry color, right? And like, I'm obsessed with this palette right now. And I haven't had the opportunity to play around with it as much as I wanted to, but I'm going to. It's going to be one of those things where I just need some time. And I'll probably do a purple look, of course, because my favorite color is purple. But this palette is beautiful. And like, I like that it doesn't have any light colors in it. You know, like it's all dark, but I'm excited to kind of play around with that one. So that is it for my shop my collection for fall palettes. I hope you guys got some inspiration, some ideas, and if you do have some of those older palettes, you can totally use those for fall. I don't really like this idea that especially for content creators, that, you know, as soon as a new palette comes out, you have to buy that new palette and then you have to only use that new palette. I don't receive PR, and I wish that I did, but until that time comes, I want to, you know, kind of go back and show you how I can make the same looks that people make with new palettes, how you can use your old palettes for that. I think it's very responsible, right? Because you're not wasting money. You're going to use what you have instead of just being like, oh, this is old, now I'm going to get rid of it. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys all the palettes in my collection that I had that I think I can use for fall looks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe, click on the bell button, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.